Hey everyone, I'm Brenton, and welcome to Brenton's Question of the Week. Questions that collectors think about but don't always ask. Last week's question: is a focus important? Can you focus on only one main character or multiple characters? Here are some of the responses from the community. Vibranium Jim said, "No, I started with X-Men, then switched to Avengers. Now I'm thinking of focusing on a certain character, Daredevil." Well, Jim, that's a good option. "I honestly shouldn't be collecting, to be honest." Laugh out loud. "Now, I do think focus is important, and in some aspects it helps out financially, but it's so hard to do when you love so many different characters from different universes." I agree with you there. Ed, and Eddie said, "Having a focus is difficult. I love a lot of different characters from comics and movies alike. The biggest struggle is deciding, do I collect renditions of both comics and movies, or do I stick to one or the other? I don't know that I've figured that out yet. The only way I've been thinking this could work is if I get just one piece to represent a movie or series instead of collecting multiple characters from them." B. Chan said, "I agree that focus is hard. I tried to focus on DBZ. Now I'm a few statues in. I have not even had one DBZ. Bought a few and canceled them all. As collecting continues, tastes change." Mojo Potato said, "Focus is key for me because I have limited space and money. I have all my childhood favorites in 1/6 scale Kotobukiya and Bowen statues. But now that I'm collecting 1/4 XM and Sideshow, I need to be really selective. My focus now is centering those 1/4 scale statues around my XM Thanos. So I'm going with characters from the Infinity Gauntlet comic book storyline to complement Thanos as my centerpiece. That's why I'm waiting for a licensed company to make an Adam Warlock." Well, Mojo, please share pictures of your collection. I would love to see this. And keep us updated on the pieces that you do get in. Vega said, "I think the need to have a focus is a matter of circumstance more times than not, and one's drive to be responsible ultimately makes it difficult or easy. I choose to focus on X-Men statues because they are my favorite characters. However, the need to have that focus is also influenced by limitations in space and money. There are absolutely other characters I would love to own, but having a focus keeps me from dipping into funds irresponsibly. Similarly, I do not end up in a position of having to make space where there may not be or having to store pieces when no space is available. I have small scale, less than $50 figures and statues of other interests that help fend off temptations for other high-end pieces. There is also a benefit of longevity and prolonging the finishing of collections by waiting and doing one focus at a time." Vega, I do agree with you completely there. And thank you all for the great responses. Now, this week I've been thinking about, how close does a collectible need to be to the source material for you to purchase? How much leeway do you allow a company? So this was just kind of thinking about, all collectibles. So I know there's a lot of talk about InArt recently and their 1/6 scale figures, especially when it comes to the Batman and how accurate things need to be. Or, InArt's Gandalf, they don't have the symbols on the pants underneath the cloak that you may not see, but you know it's there, so you would expect it to be there on a figure. So it's just, how accurate does this stuff need to be for you before you decide to buy it? And if it gets too inaccurate, do you just decide to skip it because you want something that is accurate either to the on-screen movie or from a comic book? A lot of statues may take some liberties with how they design things, and you may not always agree with it. It may not feel like that character to you. You know, the important thing that companies probably need to do the best is capture that essence of the character. If you look at a collectible and you're just like, it doesn't feel like that character to me, then that's probably a miss by the company. But I'd love to hear some of your responses on this. So thank you everyone for watching. Please feel free to answer in the comments and come back next week to hear what other collectors had to say and for another hard-hitting question.